Something I'm learning recently is that doubt is not the opposite of faith. I think worry is the opposite of faith. Having doubts about the Bible, about religion, and about God can lead to curiosity, which can lead to expanding your worldview and figuring out what it is you do believe. Doubt is often about lack of knowledge, but worry, I think, is lack of trust. It's something I believe we need to learn to overcome as Christians in order to be closer to God. It's easy to say that, but it's harder to do, especially when, like me, you're diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. I worry, and I worry a lot. I worry myself nauseous sometimes. It's just what I do. But something that's helping me really start to tackle this problem in my life is understanding the seriousness of what it means to worry as a Christian, and that's what I want to talk about today. We know anxiety doesn't come from God because the Bible says that God is a God of peace. So then the devil would really prefer that anxiety rules your life and determines your actions, and that you're just driven by fear in your life because of this anxiety. Anxiety is not just fear though. When I'm having anxious thoughts and I'm going, what if, but what if, but what if, over and over in my head, it's because I want to control something that I can't. I'm putting the responsibility on myself to make sure that everything works out in the end and the worst case scenario that I have in my head doesn't happen. But I'm giving myself an impossible task. When you were a kid and your family was on some road trip somewhere and you were in the back seat, were you sitting there worrying about the cost of gas or whether the road conditions would change? No, that's the sort of thing that the person driving would have to worry about. I felt completely safe trusting that my parents knew what they were doing better than I did. And in life, even when you're an adult, you are not driving the car. You can't control what your friends will think of you if you show up to brunch late. You can't control whether that job interview will go well and you get a call back. You can't control your love life or your financial situation. You are not in control of when or how you're going to die. If I'm supposed to be in control, if I believe this is my responsibility, I'm in control of the future and how well everything goes, of course I'm going to be stressing out, because if someone you don't trust is in control of how or when you're going to die, how are you ever going to have peace? I know I'm fallible, I know I'm capable of making mistakes, so I'm supposed to be in control of all these things I'm worrying about and make sure it all goes well in the end? Of course I'm stressing out. Proverbs 16:9, the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Trust without proof that God sees the things that you don't see. If you can do that even a little bit, that's faith. And that's something that the devil does not want for you and your life. Even when things go wrong in my life and the things I'm afraid of happening happen, I can have peace from the God of peace. I still need to work on being able to accept potential outcomes that I don't want to happen. If it's in God's plan for the best case scenario to happen, of course I'm going to be grateful and thank Him for answering my prayers. But if it's in His plan for the worst case scenario to happen, am I going to be able to accept that? Faith in God is as simple as being a kid on a road trip and trusting that your parents know what they're doing and not worrying about it. Luckily, the Bible has a lot to say about anxiousness, so I'm going to be putting the verses that you can check out for yourself in the description of this video. If you're a Christian with anxiety, don't beat yourself up for being anxious. But maybe to start, just ask God to take your worries from you and give you some peace from the God of peace.